Hey guys, how in the world are y'all doing? I hope everybody's doing great. I missed y'all last week. We were gone for fall break and I didn't get to be with y'all and I miss seeing you, but I'm glad to be here today. I hope y'all are all doing good. Today, well, let's see, I just got home from dropping Caleb off at school, which today I dropped him off, but when you see this, today is yesterday, which it will be tomorrow today, but just trust me on that, guys. Anyway, I'm glad to be with you. Caleb and Roshan and Libby. John, where's John? Okay, Remy and Rehan and Josh, Christian, Ethan, yeah. Where's Freddie? Oh, all right, hey. Good to see y'all. I am glad y'all are back, and I'm glad I could be with you. And again, I hope you had a great time. Well, I don't know if you like Peppa Pig or not, but I got some Peppa Pig books. I ordered these books a couple of weeks ago, and I thought, I've got Clifford the Big Red Dog. We done read that one, and I've got some Paw Patrol, and so we'll do them different ones. And hey, do y'all remember the trick with your hand? Have you practiced that at all? Have you look here? Here's how you do it. Can you do it? I've got one little girl. When I come to pick up Caleb, she rides a bus. I don't even know who she is. But I showed her that one day, and every day when I pick up Caleb, she stops and she says, "Do it," and I do it. And I've tried to teach her how to do it, and she keeps trying. She's trying to learn. But see, if you learn how to do it, then you can trick your parents. You can say, "My finger comes off." Look at this. Watch. You ready? All right, here we go. Can you do it? Try. It's hard to learn to do. You got to do that, and then, oh. Keep practicing. I'm sure you can do it. When you learn to do it, show me. I'd love to see you do it. Well, hey, let's talk about Peppa the Pig. You want to? Now, this book I got here is the story of Peppa the Pig. Peppa Pig. Oh, yes. Who knows what Peppa Pig likes to do? She likes to do something. She likes to what? She likes to jump in muddy puddles. This book tells you how to jump into muddy puddles. First, you must put on your boots. Now that's true. And look, don't go jumping into muddy puddles if your mom and dad tell you not to jump into muddy puddles. Don't do that. But if it's raining and you can go out and jump in muddy puddles, well, you need to jump in muddy puddles like Peppa does. So she jumps in muddy puddles. And you can do it too. Except if you get in trouble, just tell them that Granddaddy told you to do it, and I'll get in trouble. Next, you look for the perfect muddy puddle, and then you jump into the muddy puddle. And so hopefully that won't get you in too much trouble. Let's look at this. The Story of Peppa Pig. My Family Tree by Peppa Pig. Once upon a time, there was a lovable, slightly bossy little piggy named Peppa. That's Peppa Pig. Squelch, squelch. More than anything in the whole wide world, Peppa loved jumping up and down in muddy puddles. She loved to jump up and down in the muddy puddles, and she would get her shoes and she would go, and her mother and daddy would let her go and jump in muddy puddles. Mommy Pig was Peppa's mummy. She was very wise about most things. Mommy Pig would say, "Peppa, when you jump in muddy puddles, you must wear your boots." She had to wear her boots when she was jumping in muddy puddles so that she didn't get her feet wet and she didn't wreck her clothes. Daddy Pig was Peppa's daddy. He loved eating cookies and had a big round tummy. When Daddy Pig jumped in muddy puddles, he made a very big muddy splash. He jumped in the muddy puddle and made a big splash. I hope we're not encouraging you to do things that are going to get you in trouble, but if you do, oh well, blame it on me. When When Peppa's little brother George was born, Peppa helped look after him. She's taking care of her little brother and helping her mom and dad take care of her little brother. As soon as George was old enough, Peppa taught him how to jump into muddy puddles. "George," Peppa said, just like Mummy Pig, "if you jump in muddy puddles, you must wear your boots." And George had to learn to wear his boots into the muddy puddles because that's what Mommy wants you to do. Wear your boots in the muddy puddles. George liked muddy puddles, but he liked his toy Mr. Dinosaur more. Even though George couldn't speak yet, he could say one very word very well. Dinosaur. Grrr. I've heard him say dinosaur. Sometimes Peppa got a bit annoyed with George. "George," she would sigh, "why do you always say dinosaur for everything? It's so boring." You know what boring means? Boring means it's not fun. It's just dull. It's just sit there, you know? And I don't like boring stuff. And so she said, "George, why don't you learn to say something else?" One day, Peppa, George, Mummy, and Daddy Pig got into their little car and drove to their new house on top of a little green hill. Peppa was excited about the new home, but she was very excited about the very wet and extremely muddy puddles in the garden. Beep, beep. Here they go. They're driving to their new house. They've packed up everything they've got it. They're moving to a new house, and Peppa is so excited because it's a house on a hill, but there are muddy puddles. Peppa likes muddy puddles. "Can we go and jump in the muddy puddles?" asked Peppa. "It's nearly time for..." "Oh, wait a minute, who's this?" "It's nearly time for bed, Peppa," replied Mummy. "You'll have to wait until tomorrow." "Can't go right now because it's nearly time for bed." So Peppa and George woke up very early the next morning and went to find Mummy and Daddy Pig. They're laughing, and they go in there where Mummy and Daddy Pig are. Can we please go outside and jump in muddy puddles?" asked Peppa excitedly. "We're going to Granny and Grandpa's Pig's house today, Peppa." Oh, that was Mommy Pig. Sorry about that. "We're going to Granny and Grandma Pig's house today, Peppa," replied Mummy Pig sleepily. "You can jump in muddy puddles there." "Oh, you thought your puddles were great. There's nothing better than jumping in muddy puddles at Grandma's house." So, beep, beep, snap, snort. They're gone. They're leaving. After breakfast, it was time to leave. So Peppa and her family jumped into their little car. "Ready?" asked Daddy Pig cheerily. "Yes, Daddy Pig," everyone answered back. "Then let's go," shouted Daddy Pig. And they left, and they're driving, and they go to Grandma's house. "Yippee!" cried Peppa. She couldn't wait to see Granny and Grandpa Pig's house and jump in muddy puddles there. Sounds like excessive compulsion disorder to me, but that's neither here nor there. The family soon arrived at Granny and Grandpa's house. Peppa and George were very excited. They loved going to visit Granny and Grandpa Pig. Granny Pig, gangling, blah, 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 blah. Dinosaur. That's what old George, he don't say much. Granny Pig, cried Peppa. Gangaloo, baby, blah, blah, shouted George. "Hello, my little ones," answered Granny Pig. "Come inside." "Granny," said Peppa, "can I jump in muddy puddles, please?" "I think Wait a minute, who's talking here? Hold on a minute. "I think Grandpa Pig has something to show you first, Peppa," said Granny Pig. Peppa was a little disappointed, and she really wanted to jump in muddy puddles. You know, there's more to life than muddy puddles. We just need to talk that. We need to counsel Peppa. Grandpa Pig took Peppa and George to his vegetable garden. "This is where I grow my vegetables," said Grandpa Pig. First, I plant some seeds.
Can we eat your yummy vegetables, Grandpa?
Asked Peppa, forgetting about the Muddy Puddles. We have to wait for them to grow a bit bigger, cried Grandpa.
Ooh, gasped Peppa excitedly.
Y'all ever planted anything? You know, I've tried to plant stuff. Sometimes you plant things and they don't come up. But if you put the seed in the ground and you put water on it and it's good ground and it's got sun, it'll grow up. You could grow your own garden. That's what Grandpa Pig is doing. Look at there. They're putting the seeds in the ground.
Veggies,
said Peppa, and they're getting the garden ready. Suddenly, there was a loud bang. Oh dear, gasped Grandpa Pig. That was thunder. That means it's going to rain. We should hurry inside before we get wet. Peppa, George, and Grandpa Pig ran inside as fast as they could get in, out of the rain. Yeah, rain's a bad thing, except if you like muddy puddles. When it rains, it leaves what? Muddy puddles. And that's what they're going to do. I can almost bet on it. I haven't read this book, but I can bet. Peppa and George watched the rain. Splish, splash, splosh. Down the window. George started to cry.
Don't cry, George, said Peppa. It's only rain. Dinosaur.
What do? Leave it outside? I don't know. But George wasn't crying because it was raining. George was crying because he had lost Mr. Dinosaur. Peppa searched upstairs. Peppa searched downstairs. Peppa even searched in the toilet. If she found it in the toilet, I would leave it. But anyway, she couldn't find Mr. Dinosaur anywhere. Just then, she had an idea. Ding! Peppa has an idea. Peppa ran outside and found a very wet Mr. Dinosaur in Grandpa's very muddy vegetable garden. There he is. George must have dropped him in all the excitement of planting that garden. I'm sure that's what it was. She ran inside and gave Mr. Dinosaur to George. George was very happy. George is happy. That was a happy George sound. The rain has stopped, cried Peppa. What can we do? The rain has stopped, cried Peppa. What can we do now? I have a very good idea, Peppa, said Daddy Pig, grinning, pointing outside and grinning happily.
Hooray!
Cheered Peppa, seeing the muddiest puddle ever. She had never seen a muddy puddle like that before. She had been so busy looking for the dinosaur, Mr. Dinosaur, in Grandpa's vegetable garden that she had forgotten all about jumping into muddy puddles. And so she puts her boots on and George puts his boots on and they all go outside and the whole family jumps in muddy puddles.
Squeak, squeak, squat, squeak, splash, splish, splash. Oh, this is so wonderful, cried Peppa.
Peppa loved jumping up and down in muddy puddles more than anything in the whole wide world. All of Peppa's family loved jumping up and down in muddy puddles more than anything in the whole wide world.
Oink, oink. Ha ha.
Grunt, grunt, snort, snort. And that is the story of Peppa Pig. I don't know. I like to play in the rain. I used to like to play in the rain. You like to get out there in the rain and try to catch rain. Try to catch raindrops sometimes. It's good to be outside in the rain if you have to be. But if you don't have to be, go inside when it's raining. Wait till it quits raining, put your boots on, and then go outside and jump in muddy puddles. It's a lot of fun. Well, guys, it's been good to be with you today, and I hope all of y'all have a great weekend. All of you, Freddie, Ethan, Christian, Josh, Rehan, Remy, John, Libby, you have a great weekend. Roshan and old Caleb, y'all have a great weekend, and I will talk to you next week. Now, listen, hey, come on now, practice. Come on, help me out now. Here you go. You ready? You can do it. You got all weekend to practice. God bless you guys. Bye.